Do you want to improve your English while learning ancient wisdom that can guide your modern life? Then listen carefully, because this story will remind you that true wisdom doesn't need to shout. It speaks through calm, quiet strength. The empty vessel makes the loudest noise. Welcome to Learn with Tales, your home for emotional and inspiring stories that help you learn English in a natural, easy, and enjoyable way. Here we share timeless lessons and moral stories that help you grow both your language skills and your mindset. Long ago, in ancient China, there was a young man named Wei. Wei was clever, proud, and loved to show off his knowledge. Whenever he joined a discussion, he spoke the loudest, interrupted others, and laughed at anyone who disagreed with him. People called him the talking scholar, but behind his back they whispered, "He knows many words, but little truth." One day, Wei was invited to a small gathering of scholars. The guest of honor was an old master named Lao Shen, known across the land for his deep wisdom. Wei was excited. He said to himself, "I'll impress him with my ideas." When the discussion began, the young scholars took turns sharing their thoughts. But as usual, Wei interrupted everyone, arguing loudly and trying to prove he was the smartest in the room. Lao Shen sat quietly, listening without a word. Finally, when the noise grew unbearable, Lao Shen picked up a small clay cup from the table. He tapped it gently with a spoon. Clink! The empty cup made a loud, sharp sound. Then he filled it with tea and tapped again. This time, the sound was soft and low. Everyone stopped talking. Lao Shen smiled and said, "An empty vessel makes the loudest noise. The more it holds, the quieter it becomes." His eyes turned to Wei. Knowledge is not proven by volume, but by understanding. The wise speak less because they are busy listening. Wei's face turned red. For the first time, he stayed silent. That day, he realized something powerful. Wisdom is not about winning arguments, but about listening, observing, and learning from others. Years passed. Wei grew older, calmer, and truly wiser. When people asked him questions, he no longer spoke quickly. He listened first, and when he finally spoke, his words carried the weight of thought and experience. People began to call him the silent teacher. One of his students once asked, "Master, why do you speak so little?" Wei smiled and said, "Because silence often teaches more than words ever can." Moral of the story: loud voices don't make strong minds. Empty people seek attention. Wise people seek understanding. Speak less, listen more, and let your actions speak louder than your words. Thank you for listening to this story. Remember, true wisdom doesn't shout. It shines quietly through calm thoughts, kind actions, and steady patience. If this story touched your heart, remember there are many more waiting for you here. Stories teach us not only English, but also life. Keep practicing. Keep believing. See you soon. Have you ever looked for answers in the wrong place, simply because it feels easier? This story may change the way you search for solutions in life. The Drunk Man and the Streetlight. Welcome to Learn with Tales, your home for emotional and inspiring stories that help you learn English in a natural, easy, and enjoyable way. Here we tell meaningful stories using simple English, clear narration, and real-life lessons that grow both your language skills and your mindset. One quiet night, a man walked down a village street and saw another man on his hands and knees, searching for something under a bright streetlight. Curious, he asked, "My friend, what are you looking for?" The man under the lamp was clearly drunk. He muttered, "I lost my keys." Wanting to help, the passerby bent down. Together, they searched the ground carefully, looking around the circle of light. Minutes passed, but they found nothing. Finally, the helper asked, "Are you sure you lost your keys here?" The drunk man shook his head. No, I lost them over there in the dark alley, but it's too dark there. Here, under the light, I can see better." The helper was stunned. He realized the man was looking in the wrong place simply because it was easier, not because that was where the answer truly was. The story spread through the village, and people began to reflect. How often do we all do the same? We search for solutions where it feels comfortable, instead of where the real problem lies. We blame others instead of examining ourselves. We look for shortcuts instead of facing challenges. We chase distractions instead of confronting truth. Like the drunk man under the streetlight, we waste precious time searching in the wrong place when the real answer lies in the shadows where we are afraid to look. Moral of the story? Don't search for answers only where it is easy or comfortable. The truth may lie in the difficult, dark, or hidden places. Be brave enough to face the real problem, and you will find the real solution. Thank you for listening to this story. Remember, light can guide you, but only honesty and courage will lead you to the right answers. More short stories? Subscribe to Learn with Tales. Good night and sweet dreams. Do you want to improve your English while listening to a story that shows the true power of money? Then listen carefully, because this story will make you think twice about value, respect, and what really matters in life. The Power of Money. Welcome to Learn with Tales, your home for emotional and inspiring stories that help you learn English in a natural, easy, and enjoyable way. Here we tell meaningful stories using simple English, clear narration, and real-life lessons that grow both your language and your mindset. There was once a young man named Rafi. He was kind, honest, and always ready to help others. But he came from a poor family. His clothes were old, his shoes were worn out, and he could barely pay his rent. He often visited his old school friends, but they slowly stopped calling him. When he walked into a restaurant, people barely noticed him. Some even turned away. He could feel the quiet judgment in their eyes. No money, no status, no worth. Rafi smiled through the pain, but deep down he wondered, does money really decide who I am? Still, he kept working hard, fixing computers, delivering packages, doing anything to survive. Years passed. Rafi built a small business repairing phones. He worked day and night, saved every coin, and slowly his effort began to pay off. One shop became two became four, and soon he owned a small electronics company. He wasn't rich yet, but he was stable. One day he attended a wedding. There he met the same people who once ignored him, his old classmates, now smiling and friendly. "Rafi, long time no see," they said. "You look great, brother. We should catch up sometime." Rafi smiled politely, but inside he remembered their silence years ago. Later that night, he looked at himself in the mirror and thought, "When I had nothing, nobody cared. But now that I have money, suddenly I exist." He felt both proud and sad at the same time. The next morning, his old friend Amir came to visit. Unlike the others, Amir had always been kind to him. He said, "Rafi, now that you've made it, do you finally understand what money really is?" Rafi smiled and said, "Yes, Amir, money is power, but not the kind you think. It doesn't change who we are. It only shows who others truly are." Amir nodded. "Then use your money wisely," he said. "Let it serve you, not control you. Because money can buy respect, but not sincerity. It can buy followers, but never true friends." Rafi never forgot those words. He continued to grow his business, but he used his wealth to help others who struggled like he once did. He hired the poor, paid them fairly, and taught them to build their own success. He realized that real power wasn't in the money itself, but in how it was used. Moral of the story: money changes how the world sees you, but it should never change how you see yourself. Earn it with honesty, use it with kindness, and remember, people may respect your wealth, but they will love your heart.
Do you ever feel that your actions are too small to make a difference? This story may change the way you see your power to help others. The Starfish Story. One morning, after a great storm, a wise man walked along the beach. The waves had washed thousands of starfish onto the shore. The sand was covered with them, stretching as far as his eyes could see. The man felt sad. He knew that when the sun rose higher, the heat would dry them, and most of the starfish would die before reaching the water again. "What a waste," he thought. "There are too many. Nothing can be done." As he walked further, he noticed a young boy. The boy bent down, picked up a starfish, and gently threw it back into the sea. Then he picked up another and did the same. Again and again he tossed Starfish into the waves. Curious, the man approached him. "My boy," he said kindly, "why are you doing this? There are thousands of starfish here. You cannot possibly save them all. What difference can it make?" The boy paused, looked at the starfish in his hand, and smiled. "It makes a difference to this one." And with a gentle throw, he sent it back into the sea. The wise man stood silently, the boy's words echoing in his heart. He bent down, picked up a starfish, and threw it into the water. Soon, both of them were walking together along the beach, returning as many starfish as they could. The sun continued to rise. The beach was still filled with starfish, but now there was also hope, because two people had chosen to act even when the problem seemed too big. The man realized something powerful that day. True change does not always come from saving the whole world. Sometimes it comes from saving one life at a time. A small action, repeated with love, can ripple outward in ways we cannot see. That evening, as the waves rolled back into the sea, the man remembered the boy's words again. "It makes a difference to this one." And he smiled, knowing he would never forget the lesson. Moral of the story? You may not be able to change the whole world, but you can change someone's world. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, matters. Thank you for listening to this story. Remember, your actions have power. Do what you can, where you are, with what you have, and you will make a difference. More short stories? Subscribe to Learn with Tales. Good night and sweet dreams.
Do you believe that honesty always reveals itself in the end? This story may change the way you think about fairness forever. For what you give to others will always return to you. The Farmer and the Pound of Butter. Welcome to Learn with Tales, your home for emotional and inspiring stories that help you learn English in a natural, easy, and enjoyable way. Here, we tell meaningful stories using simple English, clear narration, and real-life lessons that grow both your language skills and your mindset. Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a humble farmer. Every day, he sold butter to the local baker. The agreement was simple: 1 pound of butter for the baker's bread. For months, the trade continued. The baker gave him fresh bread, and the farmer returned with golden butter. But one day, suspicion entered the baker's heart. He thought, "Is the farmer truly giving me a full pound of butter, or is he cheating me?" Filled with doubt, the baker decided to test it. He weighed the butter on his own scale. To his shock, the butter weighed less than a pound. Angry, he felt betrayed. "This farmer is dishonest," he cried. Without hesitation, he took the matter to court. In the courtroom, the judge looked at the farmer and asked, "Do you use proper scales when you sell your butter?"
The farmer, calm and simple, replied, "Your Honor, I am a poor man. I do not own precise scales or fancy weights, but I have my own way of measuring." The judge raised an eyebrow. "And what is that way?" The farmer explained, "Long before the baker ever bought butter from me, I was buying bread from him. Each day, when he brings me a loaf of bread, I place it on my scale. Then I give him exactly the same weight in butter. So if the butter is less than a pound, it is only because his bread was less than a pound." The courtroom fell silent. Everyone realized the truth. The baker had accused the farmer, but in reality, it was his own dishonesty that was revealed. The judge nodded wisely. "The measure you give is the measure you will receive. If you cheat others, you only cheat yourself." Moral of the story: honesty is the foundation of trust. Whatever you give to others will return to you. If you are unfair, it will be exposed in time. But if you live with integrity, you will always stand strong. Thank you for listening to this story. Remember, life is like a scale. It balances what you give and what you receive. Choose honesty, and your life will always be in balance. More short stories? Subscribe to Learn with Tales. Good night and sweet dreams.
Do you take love for granted? This story may break your heart, but it will also remind you to value the people who truly care for you. The Blind Girl and Her Lover. Welcome to Learn with Tales, your home for emotional and inspiring stories that help you learn English in a natural, easy, and enjoyable way. Here we tell meaningful stories using simple English, clear narration, and real-life lessons that grow both your language skills and your mindset. There was once a young girl who was blind. She hated herself because of her blindness. She felt incomplete, weak, and unworthy. The only person she never hated was her boyfriend, a kind young man who loved her deeply. He stayed by her side every day, holding her hand, guiding her steps, and reminding her that she was beautiful in his eyes. The blind girl often said to him, "If I could ever see the world, I would marry you." Those words gave him hope, and he waited patiently, dreaming of the day she might see. One day, a miracle happened. Someone donated a pair of eyes to the girl. After surgery, she could finally see. For the first time, she saw colors, the sky, the trees, and the faces of people around her. She was overwhelmed with joy. Soon after, her boyfriend came to visit. Smiling, he asked softly, "Now that you can see, will you marry me?" But when she looked at him, her happiness turned into shock. He was blind too. His eyes were closed, and he walked carefully with a cane. She froze, unable to accept it. In that moment, fear and pride filled her heart. She thought, "If I marry him, people will see us as too blind. I want a different life now." With a heavy heart, she whispered, "I'm sorry. I cannot marry you." The young man's smile faded. Tears filled his eyes, but he said nothing. He quietly left her house, leaving behind a small folded note. When she opened it, she found only one line written: "Take care of my eyes, my love." She stood frozen, realizing the painful truth. The eyes that gave her sight were his gift to her. The man who had loved her most had given up his world of vision so that she could see hers. Moral of the story? Never take love for granted. The people who truly care for you may be giving you more than you can ever imagine. Appreciate them before it is too late. Thank you for listening to this story. Remember, love is not measured by words, but by the sacrifices made in silence. Treasure those who stand by you, because not everyone will. More short stories? Subscribe to Learn with Tales. Good night and sweet dreams.
Do you ever feel buried by problems too heavy to escape? This story may change the way you see challenges forever. Because sometimes what tries to bury you can become the very thing that lifts you higher. The Donkey in the Well. Welcome to Learn with Tales, your home for emotional and inspiring stories that help you learn English in a natural, easy, and enjoyable way. Here, we tell meaningful stories using simple English, clear narration, and real-life lessons that grow both your language skills and your mindset. Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a farmer who owned an old donkey. The donkey was loyal but weak, and one unfortunate day it fell into an abandoned well. The donkey cried loudly, braying in fear and pain. The farmer rushed to see what had happened. He looked down and saw the donkey trapped deep below. The farmer tried to think of a way to rescue it, but the well was too deep and the donkey was too heavy. After much thought, he sighed sadly and decided that the donkey was old and the well needed to be covered anyway. So he called his neighbors to help bury the donkey inside. With shovels in their hands, the men began to throw dirt into the well. At first, the donkey panicked. It cried terribly as the soil fell upon its back. It seemed like the end. But then, something changed. With each load of dirt that hit its back, the donkey shook it off and stepped up onto the new layer. The villagers kept shoveling. The donkey kept shaking off the dirt and climbing higher. Blow after blow, shovel after shovel, the donkey refused to give in. Hours passed. Finally, to everyone's amazement, the donkey stepped up over the edge of the well and walked out, tired, dusty, but alive and free. The farmer and neighbors were speechless. What they thought would bury the donkey became the very thing that saved it. The donkey had taught them a lesson. When life throws dirt on you, shake it off and step up. Each challenge can become a step to freedom if only you refuse to give up. Moral of the story? Life will throw difficulties your way, People may try to bury you with problems, criticism, or failure. But if you shake it off and keep stepping up, every challenge can lift you closer to success. Thank you for listening to this story. Remember, what feels like the end may be the beginning of your greatest strength. Shake it off, step up, and keep going. More short stories? Subscribe to Learn with Tales. Good night and sweet dreams.